Welcome to Mocktails and Masterpieces with the Indianapolis Chamber Orchestra. Hello, and welcome to this special episode of Mocktails and Masterpieces. I'm Dana Stone, the Executive Director of the Indianapolis Chamber Orchestra, and I'm here today with soprano María Brea. And Maria, would you take a minute to introduce yourself and we'll talk more about your upcoming performance here with the ICO.
Thank you so much for having me. I want to just start with that. I'm so excited to go back to Indianapolis and sing with the Indianapolis Chamber Orchestra. My name is María Brea. I am from Caracas, Venezuela. Recently became an American citizen. I have lived in the US for the past 15 years of my life, and I have had my kids here. I'm a twin mom, and I am an opera singer, an avid oratorio singer, a champion of new works, and I'm so excited to be in this space. Thank you for having me.
Well, welcome, and we're glad to have you, and congratulations on your citizenship. I know that's a process, so welcome, even though you've been here for quite some time.
Thank you.
So I'd love to hear more about your journey from Venezuela to the United States and kind of your experience as a performer here, a performer there. How did you find this career path, which is unlikely for many people, but you've really made it your own?
Thank you. That's an amazing question. And I definitely don't have a normal path. I grew up in a slum in Caracas, Venezuela. So I grew up in a really poor place. We didn't even have postmail. Like, it didn't make it there. We had to walk to throw away our trash about sometimes 10 minutes, 20 minutes. So I don't come from a glamorous life. Venezuela is a very special and different place. My mother is a medical doctor. She was making $5 a month. My father is a music teacher. There is, the big element of music. Music kept my sister and I safe. And we grew up actually picking up like bullets of, because we grew up in a really violent place. But music just was there. My father was teaching at the Academy of Johann Sebastian Bach, which was a music academy. I grew up going there, and I fell in love with the life of Bach and asked my father to bring me a CD of his music for a project that I was doing in school when I was 11 years old, because I was going to a school that had a computer lab. We felt really happy about that. So he brought me the CD of Bach cantatas, which I fell in love with. And I told him, Papa, I want to be an opera singer. Can you take me to the music school? And, and so he did. And here I am after more than 20 years. I am an opera singer. I am the first Venezuelan opera singer in graduating from the school. I graduated in 2017 with a full ride, with a fellowship. I also graduated from Manhattan School of Music, which happened only because a TV program came to my house in Venezuela, and a wonderful family supported me so that I could have insurance and home. And since then, I have been able to represent Venezuela and now the US, because I'm an American citizen, in the Cardiff Singer of the World as the first Venezuelan to have been elected there, Paris Opera, being the first Venezuelan to be a finalist, winning the competition of Teatro Viñas, being the first one to win the Zarzuela Prize in Spain, as well as Operalia, being the first woman to ever represent Venezuela in Operalia, and the second Venezuelan ever to be there.
Wow, that's a pretty incredible origin story, and certainly you have paved the way for future artists, and congratulations. That is no small feat, and I'm so excited to hear you sing. But let's talk a little bit more. I'm kind of disappointed. We often do at Christmas time for our classical Christmas concert part of the Bach's Christmas oratorio. But this year we're not. We're not doing that this year, and that would have been perfect for you. Maybe we'll have to have you back when we do the Christmas oratorio next year. But that being said, I'm sure you have performed the Messiah many times. Maybe you can talk some about that piece and kind of the evolution of it. You've probably done it more than once. So tell us about Handel's Messiah.
I well, again, I fell in love with Bach, and then from that, I think my love for Handel came later as well. I have been studying his life since I was very little, and I fell in love with his operas, of course, and his magical operas specifically. He's someone who writes beautifully for the voice and really understands drama, being obviously an opera composer. And I think Messiah has that, even though it's an oratorio. And as we know, there's that sort of biblical, angelical sense of voice throughout the whole work. But I think that there's a theatrical feeling to this piece that I really, 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 really love. And I feel like everyone who gets involved in it has an important voice in it. And my favorite part about Messiah is actually watching others sing and seeing the orchestra play. I did Messiah in 2022. And actually, I did it in Indianapolis with Indianapolis Symphony. And I remember receiving this beautiful message from a member of the audience through, the website saying, I really, really, really love the fact that you were looking at all your colleagues and you were so engaged in what they were doing. And I genuinely hadn't even noticed that. I just really love seeing other people perform and enjoy this piece from all the perspectives.
That's beautiful. So, for preparation purposes, you do a lot of opera with character development. How does that change your preparation process for something that's an oratorio, which is certainly has some plot line to it, but you're not playing a character, right?
Well, I like to find the message that I have to give to the people who are in the audience. So as you said, it's not like you are playing with a character, that you have a character there, but you can definitely think, well, maybe this is an angel, or maybe this is Mary, or in certain moments of the piece, there are certain voices that maybe remind you of a specific character from the Bible. So obviously you don't have to be literal. And I really love the idea of letting people in the audience fill in the dots, and so that they can feel like they're just enjoying the music. It doesn't feel too extravagant, right? Or like too acty. But I think that if you think about including everyone in the story, I think that makes it way more fun for the performer and for your audience. And I definitely practice that. I think about everyone who's going to be there, and I want to make sure that I spend a little bit of time with every member of the audience. It doesn't matter how high they are in the hall or how close they are to me in the hall. I want to spend time with all of them and share the story with them in the most respectful and kind way as possible.
That's wonderful. So, in thinking about, I'd love for you to kind of share one of your performances with us. So, maybe you can tell us about an upcoming recording that we're going to share here in a minute that you would like audiences to hear.
Well, I would love for them to hear a recording of Stridono lassù. We're going to listen to Stridono lassù. This is from the opera Pagliacci, which is oftentimes performed as a double bill with Cavalleria Rusticana. And the reason why I really love this opera is just the music of Leoncavallo is just theatrical. Again, it's very small, and it's something that I really, really love singing, besides obviously my love for Handel and Bach, which actually started my whole love for opera. So this is a recording from my concert in June or May with the Brooklyn Symphony and my wonderful friend Felipe Tristan, a very much accomplished conductor from Mexico, who is the music director of the National Ballet and Theater of Monterrey, as well as assistant conductor of the Austin Symphony.
thank you so much, Maria, for sharing that performance. Wow. So let's talk some about upcoming things that you're doing besides your performance here with the ICO.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, I just finished doing Orfeo ed Euridice this like past weekend. Actually, I did Euridice for the first time. I got the call like in August because their original Euridice could only now do one performance. So I ended up jumping in and learned it while I was in Arizona Opera. And I just did Zorro, which is a role that I have done this year 11 times, which seems insane. I did it with Opera San Jose and also with Arizona Opera, and we got amazing reviews by Broadway World. It's been really truly a success. I just released my first album of Jewish and Latin American music, which came up on September 26th, and we have gotten over 20,000 streams in 95 plus countries at this point. Went on tour for that, and then did Euridice. Now I'm preparing for a recital that I'm doing with the State Theater of New Jersey, which is an amazing organization that does a lot of Broadway stuff, but they have also opened a song studio sort of setting for performers to come in and perform art songs. So I'm doing a whole recital of Duparc, Forêt, and not Forêt, Debussy. We're doing Wolf. We're doing Price. We're doing Copeland, Turina. It's going to be a really, really awesome recital. And then I'm doing, right before our Messiah, I'm doing Messias. So I'm doing Messias in Spanish. Right here in New York City. It's my second time doing it, which the first time was with Phoenix Symphony, and I really had a great time doing it. So this is a different translation, so I'm preparing for that too and trying to keep my brain into different places for that. Doing my second recording next year, doing a whole show and kind of like residency in a theater, doing Zarzuela. I'm also doing my third Mimi, and a lot of things coming up.
That is extremely exciting. I didn't even know there was a translation of Messiah into Spanish, so super cool. Is that recorded?
Well, I don't know if this one is recorded. I have the music, happy to share.
Yeah, I'd love to listen to that. It'd be very interesting, especially since there's so much melisma and like how, wow, very
Yes,
cool.
so it's really cool. So instead of rejoice, rejoice, it's gonna be cantad, 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 cantad,
Oh, lovely. Well, yeah, a lot to sing in different languages the same piece, back-to-back weekends. So your brain will be working hard. Um,
Very.
so that's awesome. So let's chat some also about, I'd love to hear more about your Spanish language experience in classical music. I studied Spanish in undergrad and in music, and people always would ask me, "Oh, do you sing in Spanish?" I'm like, "Well, there's not a whole lot of repertoire." I did a decent amount of Ginastera, and that was about it. So I imagine you have explored more deeply than at least my music library had Spanish language repertoire. So I'd love to hear some about favorite composers and opportunities, experience, things that you've enjoyed discovering.
Well, I have made it my part of my life, I guess, choice and goal to explore and to perform the music of Latin American composers. And I don't have my whole life to actually do all of that because it's going to be hard. It's too many countries, too many languages too. And, so I just released again the CD of Jewish and Latin American music. So I tied in the start of the colonization and the expelling of the Jews in Spain and the Iberian Peninsula, and then how it affected the music, like how it like transformed into the music of a new world, or like what Latin America was becoming. And then I also like tied it back to Second War when Jews started looking for refuge in Latin America. So inside of that, I found obviously all these incredible voices of composers who had been influenced by Judaism or not, or were arranged by Jewish composers, et cetera, et cetera. So it's really difficult to decide what composer I like the most because there is so much beautiful, beautiful, beautiful music. But I must say that obviously the music for me of the Caribbean, or what we call Las Antillas, has a very special place because, well, I am Venezuelan and I'm Caribbean myself. the music of Cuba, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, has this beautiful strength, like strong link with our indigenous heritage, our African heritage, plus all the Spanish music, which is influenced by Sephardic music, by music of the North Arabic people, by the Gregorian chant, and all of this kind of like in this melting pot is, in my opinion, one of the like coolest things to think about. And obviously, I think about composers such as Lecuona, Miguel Astor. Reinaldo Moya is an amazing composer too. He definitely includes a lot of rhythms and elements of Venezuelan music into his music in his own way of obviously creating a palette of colors and textures. But there is definitely a lot of that into his music as well, which in the quartet that we performed, he did a whole salsa scherzo that he called salsa scherzo, which was really cool. So I think that there's definitely a lot to explore there in terms of the multicultural experience of Latin America. And of course, we have other languages. I mean, I don't want to forget about the Andes and the Quechua people and all the influences like just of our indigenous native people, you know. And my great grandmother was an indigenous woman, and my grandmother was was from Trinidad and Tobago, and she was a Black woman. So for me, like it kind of like resembles a lot of like who I am, and so I love it. I hope I can explore more music of Latin America. Too much to explore. Well,
Well,
in
a
a good
lot to
way.
explore, a lot of performance on your horizon. I'm not sure how you find time to do everything. It sounds like you're researching as well as learning and exploring. And remind us again the name of that recording because I want to listen to that quickly.
Oh my God, yes. So the name of the recording is called Alba, Alba, which means the dawn, and it's a good sign. It's a word that you find both in Spanish and in Ladino. All the A words in Spanish come from either Arabic languages, right? Well, the Arab, and also from the Judeo-Español, which is the Ladino, right? Because our words are not really of Spanish origin. And it's called, the subtitle of the recording is Beyond Borders. It's a recording of with pianist Dror Beitel, who is a professor of the University of Notre Dame, and right here, María Brea.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for making some time to chat with us, sharing a little bit about your experience and upcoming performances, recordings. You're definitely an artist we need to continue to follow as you explore and perform. And thank you so much for making time today to talk with us on this special podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. All the love to everyone in the audience, and I cannot wait to meet you all in person on December 13th and December 14th.
Yes, and if you still need tickets for that performance, you can find information at icomusic.org. And we look forward to seeing you. And of course, the 14th is our fabulous sing along, which is a really joyful event. If you're wondering, you just sing along with the choruses. You don't get to sing along with Maria, but it's still fun. It's still very, very fun. And we hope you'll join us and bring your families for that very special Sunday afternoon performance. So thank you again, and we'll see you in a couple months, or a month. Wow, it's so soon.